look at infrastructure, roads, bridges, water, sewer, there are significant challenges with respect to environmental reviews, secret, and there are significant challenges, especially in this area, with respect to the New York City watershed. And so the governor's plan, a multi-pronged plan on accessory dwelling units, on transit-oriented development, and her housing compact, which would require in this area a 3% increase in housing, are totally unacceptable given the total lack of investment in infrastructure. The $250 million that the governor has put aside in the budget, I could spend that in one of our municipalities in this district. There are dozens of municipalities that are all in need of significant infrastructure investment. And so what you will hear from my colleagues here in government is, their concern about what this would do to their municipalities. And that says nothing about local control. Local control is a bedrock in New York State. Municipalities are governed at a local level, and our supervisors and town boards, our mayors, our village trustees, along with the planning boards and the zoning boards, they make decisions on development and what is in the best interest of their communities with input from the residents. This plan would basically upend that. It would upend the constitutional rights of our local municipalities and force a one-size-fits-all approach to housing. It's unsustainable, it's wrong, and it violates the rights of these municipalities. And so I really appreciate the opportunity to hear from our local leaders. Frankly, it's something that our governor and the state legislature, which is why I'm so proud to be joined by Assemblyman Matt Slater and State Senator Bill Weber, so that we can hear directly from our local municipalities at a federal level and a state level what their challenges are, what their needs are, and what they're looking for from us. And as a member of the Financial Services Committee and a member of the Housing and Insurance Subcommittee, I am very interested in what we can do at a federal level to support our municipalities when it comes to housing, when it comes to building affordable housing, when it comes to investing critical federal dollars in infrastructure to meet that demand. And so with that, I want to introduce our host, Town Supervisor Mike Scirillo from the town of North Castle, to say a few words.
Thank you, Congressman, and I really want to thank you for holding this roundtable, holding it in our town, taking an interest in this topic. I also want to just briefly introduce some of our board. Our Deputy Supervisor, Councilman DeCinto, is here, and Councilman Jose Durham is behind me. Let me start by saying I have a lot of respect for the governor and what she's trying to do here. We're all trying to do the same thing. We have a lot of shared goals. Our issue, and a lot of my peers behind me, is not what the governor is trying to do, it's what the governor is, how she's trying to do it. It's not the what, it's the how. In our town, we've had EDUs, accessory dwelling units, since the 80s. We have MIUs since the 90s. We did it before anybody told us we had to do it. It's a bipartisan issue, as you can see behind us. The main message on this is one size does not fit all. One size cannot fit all. I want to thank our state representatives, Shelley Mayer, our state senator, and Chris Burdick, our state assemblyman, for fighting on our behalf in this town on this issue. I have serious concerns with it, and in trying to remove it from the budget and at least have our participation so we have a seat at the table. I'm going to very briefly show you a few examples of what we've been doing in our town. If you look right to my right, past that flagpole, that was a nursery, zone NB. As a result of our comprehensive plan, which we redid as one of my goals when I became supervisor 10 years ago, to rezone that and allow limited residential, we actually pushed the envelope. And it's approved for 43 units with 5 affordables. All around us is affordable units. You can almost see all of them around here. Projects that are either built, in process, or to be built. One of our problems, oddly enough, in our town is we approve a lot of zoning changes and projects projects, and they don't get built. As I know Matt's had that problem in Yorktown, former supervisor. One of the other targets in our master plan is make sure we're protecting the environment. We have 26 square miles of town. We have some pristine properties and parks. We balance it. We approve clustered development and rezoning right all around us. Many, many projects. At the same time, we look to preserve the environment. Over the last 10 years, we've preserved over 100 acres of property, of land that will never be built on. One other item that is probably the most urgent of this legislation is the TOD, Transit-Oriented Development. Our town has three hamlets: Armonk, where you are, Banksville, on the eastern side, coastal Greenwich, and North White Plains. North White Plains is a very, very dense community just north of White Plains that already has issues with on-street parking. The North White Plains train station, there are neighborhoods in that community that, if allowed, already dense, would allow 6,000 more units to be built. 50 units per acre. 50 units per acre. And when I say 6,000, and I tell our residents, I'm not exaggerating. It could be 6,000 more units in that community. So think about the impacts: infrastructure, the environment, our schools that are already busting at the seams, our fire departments, or the police departments, all those impacts. And what this all talks to is one size can't fit all. And you need local representation, the residents, and those are the people that put us here to make those decisions on their behalf. Infrastructure in particular, our sewer plant downtown, if we had to increase the capacity now, is about $20 million. To the Congressman's point, that would eat up 10% of that number. Just our little community right here. I want to close with the message I started with. We want to work with the governor, because we share a lot of goals. One size can't fit all. And to have New York State have oversight on local zoning in all of our communities is a disservice to the people that have built these towns and the residents that put us here. So I want to thank the Congressman again for having us, and I'm sure there's many more people to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Thank you. I'm going to ask Assemblyman Matt Slater, former town supervisor in the town of Yorktown, and a great member of the Westchester delegation, to say a few words.
Thank you, Congressman. And I want to thank Congressman Lawler, because he's doing exactly what Governor Hochul should have done at the beginning of this process. That's meet with local leaders, both sides of the aisle, to understand the issues, understand the barriers that are in place to prevent housing from coming to fruition. The governor is ignoring a very important point, though. She's ignoring the fact that there are 40,000 vacant units in New York City right now. And they're vacant because they can't be brought up to code, because of the rent stabilization rates that prohibit the property owners from investing back into their units. We have some serious problems here in the Hudson Valley, and you heard a lot of them from Mike Cirillo. Law enforcement, the first responders, our schools, but also infrastructure. I'm on the Assembly's Transportation Committee. I meet with DOT almost weekly. We know that there is a complete lack of funding when it comes to our local roads, our state roads, and our infrastructure. Supervisor Cirillo talked about a sewer plant here in North Castle. We've got a sewer district in the town of Yorktown where I was just a supervisor, and that project itself would be another $20 million. We know the $250 million infrastructure investment being proposed by Governor Hochul is a joke. It's an absolute joke. It's almost insulting. But nothing's more insulting than a one-size-fits-all approach. I've said it before, I'll keep saying it. We want local control, not Hochul control, and I stand with this bipartisan coalition. And I want to thank, by the way, my colleagues in the Assembly on both sides of the aisle, Chris Burdick, Amy Paulin. They've been tremendous advocates for our local control here in Westchester County. This is a bipartisan issue, and it's time Governor Hochul listens up. Thank you very much.
Now I'll ask Rockland County State Senator Bill Weber.
Thank you, Mike. Rockland County. One thing that I've heard from everybody at this great forum is that we want to keep local control of our zoning and planning. Here in the clutter, it's very important to the residents in the municipalities where we all live. People know their areas, and we need to keep that control local. And as Assemblyman Slater said, you know, we're going to work as hard as we can in Albany to make sure that we galvanize the support of our senators and assemblymen to really come out against our proposal, because it's bad for our local municipalities. The last thing I would say is that we need to make a major investment in infrastructure, whether it's federal dollars, whether it's state dollars. We have roads and bridges that need major repairs done, and we need to bring the money back and do proper infrastructure repairs and proper infrastructure within our areas so that we can have housing that is affordable in our areas. We need to do the infrastructure investment first. And again, I just want to conclude by saying all of our zoning and planning needs to be done and kept at the local level. That's what the residents of Rockland County have told me, and that's something that I will fight for every day to make sure it remains in place. So thank you very much.
Now I'll ask Clarkstown Town Supervisor George Newman to say a few words.
I want to thank Congressman Lawler for putting this together. It was really great to be able to come over and meet with other town supervisors and mayors from across the Hudson Valley to talk about this important issue. Again, to echo what you've heard before, we don't disagree about the idea or the need for affordable housing and more housing. The way in which it's being proposed, taking away local control, is just completely wrong, and absolutely taking away the authority as it relates to environmental reviews. That's something that's unconscionable and can't happen. All of us have taken steps in our towns to protect the environment and to bring about housing in different ways. In my town, we just approved the TOD within the last 2 years. This would have a tremendously negative impact on our schools, on our emergency services, and I can't thank the Congressman enough for putting this together, because it's at this local level where we can solve our local problems. Our local land use boards are our own neighbors, and they're our own residents. They live within the community. They judge and they listen to the community. They're appointed for longer terms than the elected officials. And that's for a reason, so that they're not subject to the political whims of whoever's in power. They're there to do the job of people and to protect our communities and to make sure that we do smart development. And this proposal by the governor works completely against that. So we oppose it, and I look forward to working with the Congressman and with all the other electeds here to make sure that whatever is done in New York is done to protect our environment, protect our community, and to bring about the right results. Thank you.
Thank you, George. And I know it's a little chilly, and none of us prepared like George with the jacket, but I'll ask the Town of Ossining Supervisor Liz Feldman to come up and say a few words.
Hi, everybody. The Town of Ossining is very first. We absolutely believe in affordable housing. The village has done a wonderful job of attracting more transit-oriented housing and development, and the town just finished a comprehensive plan to work on more. It's important to us, but this one-stop shopping blanket rule taking away our ability. All of our train stations, or most of them, are along the river, and the only available land left is contaminated. There's a reason it wasn't built. The river's beautiful. And the things that are left are contaminated, and to take away our right to do secra is irresponsible and potentially harmful to the Hudson River, which we spent billions of dollars trying to clean up and protect. The people who live there, the local government and the local planning boards understand where the contaminants are and how to address them. It's important that they be involved in the conversation. And as far as the other areas around here, you know, a lot of it is watersheds, and they don't have septic systems. You really need to build up the infrastructure in order. You can't put 20 units per acre on septic. You just can't. You really need to invest in the infrastructure to be able to build. I really believe that the state needs to have a task force to sit down with each municipality, understanding where their challenges are, and work with them to achieve the affordability that all of us want. It's irresponsible just to say you have to do it and we're not giving you any tools. To sit with us and develop the tools is what we really need, and to respect our environment and protect it, and especially our watershed, which is irreplaceable, is mandatory. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. All right, with that, any questions? Hearing none, we're going to break. Thank you so much. Enjoy the day.